5 big wins for immigrants in June 2025. Not every immigration update in June was bad. In fact, 5 key moments brought relief, protection, and hope, even in the middle of a tense political climate. You won't see them blasted on headlines, but they happened, and they matter. If you're tired of fear-driven headlines, this one's for you. A 4-year-old girl was almost deported. Then something incredible happened. Her name is Sophia. She's only 4. She has a life-threatening bowel condition that requires 4 nutrition around the clock. She was receiving treatment at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. But earlier this year, her humanitarian parole expired. ICE gave her family a deportation notice. If she left, she would have likely died in days. No exaggeration. For weeks, the family begged USCIS to renew her parole. Doctors, lawyers, and child advocates joined the fight. Even her medical team warned deportation would be fatal. And then the system blinked. On June 2, 2025, USCIS officially reinstated her humanitarian parole. She can now stay in the U.S. legally and receive care until June 2026. This one wasn't just paperwork. It saved a child's life. It showed that pressure works, that advocacy matters, and that sometimes, just sometimes, the system listens. A green card holder walks free after 3 months in IC detention. Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University student and permanent resident, was detained in March. Why? For participating in a pro-Palestinian protest. No violence, no threats, just speech. ICE picked him up anyway. And for 3 months, he sat in detention with no criminal record, no charges, no trial. Then, in early June, a federal judge stepped in. And what the court said was powerful. Detention cannot be used as punishment for political beliefs. Khalil was released within 48 hours. ICE was ordered to drop its claims of him being a national security risk. His green card status remains intact. This case sparked national conversation. Can immigrants still protest? Is free speech protected if you weren't born here? Where is the line between activism and deportation? At least in this case, the line held. The judge reminded everyone, civil liberties still apply, even for immigrants. And for every activist watching from the sidelines, this was a much-needed win. Trump tried to punish states over immigration. The court shut it down. In May, the Trump administration issued a bold threat. Any state that refuses to cooperate with ICE could lose federal infrastructure grants. California, Illinois, New York, all targeted. It was a political move. Pressure the states, punish the people. But on June 7th, a federal court blocked it. The court ruled the policy unconstitutional. Federal funds for transportation cannot be tied to immigration enforcement. States have the right to create their own local policies. This was a major blow to the administration's attempt to force local compliance. Why it matters. States like Illinois passed new protections for undocumented students this month. California continues to limit local law enforcement cooperation with ICE. A local autonomy is still alive for now. Immigrants in these states can breathe a little easier because their governors aren't being blackmailed and their communities aren't being punished for policy disagreements. ICE is quietly pulling back from workplace raids. No press conference, no formal announcement, but leaked internal emails from IC reveal something new. ICE is scaling back worksite enforcement, especially in farms, hotels, restaurants, warehouses. These industries rely heavily on immigrant labor. And with rising food prices and hospitality shortages, ICE is reportedly easing off. Why? Labor market pressure, public backlash, economic fallout from raids. This doesn't mean full protection, but it does mean fewer surprise raids, less chaos, more stability for workers who just want to survive and support their families. And that matters especially for undocumented workers in rural areas, families working in seasonal jobs, businesses on the edge of collapse. This policy shift is being driven by reality, not compassion. But the result is the same: less fear at work. Harvard defeats Trump in court, protects international students. This one didn't make many headlines, but it could have affected thousands. Earlier this year, the Trump administration tried to block Harvard and other elite universities from hosting international students, especially from high-risk countries. They called it a national security threat. Harvard called it unconstitutional. And in June, a federal judge agreed. The administration's restrictions were struck down. Harvard and other schools can continue issuing I-20s. Student visas under F and J categories remain protected for now. This case was crucial because the implications were massive. Over 300,000 international students come to the U.S. every year. Many go on to work in tech, medicine, research. Blocking them would hurt U.S. competitiveness. But more importantly, it would send a message that education isn't welcome here. Instead, the courts defended academic freedom and told the world, talent is still welcome, even under political pressure. Quick recap: 5 positive immigration updates this month. Let's break it down. A sick child got life-saving parole. A peaceful student protester was released. States pushed back and won in court. ICE backed off workplace raids quietly. Universities protected international students from being banned. Each of these wins might seem small, but together they paint a bigger picture. There is still room for hope. There are still people in courts, hospitals, classrooms, willing to fight back. And sometimes they win. Why you should care. These stories are more than headlines. They show us how the system reacts when pushed. They offer examples for future cases. And they give advocates tools to fight with. Public pressure worked for Sophia's case. A legal defense protected Khalil's freedom. A judicial independence blocked unfair funding leverage. Economic logic softened ICE's tactics. Academic institutions defended the rights of foreign students. In a time where fear dominates the conversation, these are proof points. Proof that not all hope is lost. Final words from BorderDrip, USA. If this video made you feel even slightly better about the direction of immigration, drop a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear the other side of the news. And subscribe if you want more facts, more truth, and more balance in your feed. We'll continue covering the crackdowns, the bans, the bad. But today, let's not ignore the good. This is BorderDrip USA. See you in the next one.